If you have a business and if you have clients and if someone has paid you for a service or a product, you are an expert. Welcome back to Duo On Air. I'm Abby.
And I'm Courtney.
And we're the X agency turned entrepreneurial team that puts the duo in Duo Collective. Our boutique organic marketing agency specializes in SEO, social media strategy, and branding.
We're an everyday pair of business besties / marketing experts obsessed with helping our community learn more about what it takes to run a business.
Which is why on Duo On Air, we're not holding anything back. We're giving you all the info we know about how to grow your business organically so you can be the confident CEO you were made to be.
And how to navigate life as a small business owner.
Whether it's on your own or with your best friend by your side, so grab your coffee
or your mimosa, we don't judge,
and settle in for a quick value-packed episode of Marketing Tips. Welcome back to the Duo On Air podcast. This is episode number 23, and today we are chatting about how you can get your first speaking gig. So, yeah. I know. Last month we had an incredible opportunity to speak at the Ultimate Product Party, and this was the very first conference that was solely dedicated to product business owners in this creative small business entrepreneurship community, and it was so much fun. We had so much fun.
Yes.
So we decided we were asked to speak at it, and then they selected us for the roundtables. So how it worked out is that there was this 2-hour time slot. We had 20 minutes, and then it was kind of like hot potato. People just jumped around.
Hot potato or speed dating, I called it.
Speed dating, yeah. So we talked for 20 minutes about one thing and then repeated it again 6 times within that 2-hour time span, which was a lot, and then did it again the next day. So it was so much fun, though, because each round was slightly different. We got to meet new people, new businesses. I mean, I was just so inspired by all of the business owners there.
Oh, they're so amazing. They all have just fantastic stories and products or services. More products, obviously, but it was fantastic. And just to make those connections, it was so great. And now we have friends that we can reach out onto Instagram, or maybe, who knows, we'll see them at another event someday, or
there were so many
with
local people too. We met 5 people from Minnesota.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. And I think one of the biggest takeaways that I feel like I had was you can sell anything. There's literally anything you can sell. If you have a passion for something, you can sell whatever you want. So I think that is something that was just so cool, because these ideas people had were genius.
Yeah.
And they weren't difficult. It wasn't like building a back-end AI to program. It was something super simple, but so beautifully created, and just the story in their business and their passion behind it. It was just so inspiring. So it was a lot of fun.
Yes. So we are by no means speaking experts, but we have had a few opportunities to speak from small events inside private Facebook groups to the big ones like the Ultimate Product Party. And if you're listening to this episode thinking speaking isn't for me, then we're going to try and change your mind on that if you just kind of hang on with us for a second. Because I will say, speaking isn't for me. And don't get me wrong, when they asked us to be a part of this, I was so excited. I was just this is great for just not our business, but we get to meet all these lovely women that have started these businesses, that have made these products, that have these stories. But I kind of get a little terrified when I have to speak in front of a group. And Abby and I have we spoke in Chicago for our big agency job a handful of years ago. And I remember telling her before that too, that I was absolutely terrified. But that is one of those things. If something makes you feel a little scared, or kind of you want to poop your pants, then it's probably a good thing. Because when I was a kid, I was in Taekwondo, and anytime I had to do any sort of performance for that, whether it was my form or sparring, I would get almost sick to my stomach because I was so nervous. And my parents would always be like, those nerves, that means you are really passionate about this and you really care about this. And I was like, I don't think so. This just makes me feel really gross inside. But the older you get, the more you start to realize you're wow, if it's putting butterflies in my stomach, that means that I really, really care about this and I have a lot of passion for it. So if you're not nervous or a little bit like poopy pants, then you probably don't care about it. So
when you went into that kid story, I thought we were going to tell a potty training joke or something.
No, but you might have one.
I do. We have a lot of poop conversations in this household right now, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But yeah, seriously though, if you feel a little uneasy about it, just think about the result. Like imagine you did it, forget those nerves, imagine you did it, and now imagine how you're going to feel afterwards. And if you're going to feel like on top of the world and super stoked that you did that and proud of yourself, then do it. You know you need to do it. So you just need to figure out some ways, like maybe it's practicing in the mirror. Maybe it's asking friends if, hey, do you think I should do this event? Because you know your friends are going to say, hell yes, you should do this event. So just get out of your comfort zone because you don't grow there. No one grows in their comfort zone. You're going to stay right where you are. And if you're looking to grow your business, which we know most of you are, then you need to take those big risks. And also remember too that if you're sitting there thinking like, okay, yeah, this stuff is like, sure, it's going to give me butterflies and be scary, but I don't feel like I'm an expert enough on anything. If you have a business and if you have clients and if someone has paid you for a service or a product, you are an expert. Like you have expertise that someone else doesn't have, and someone else is trusting you to bring them that product or that offering. So just know that even if you don't feel that way, you are. Like you are worthy to speak. It's just about finding the right space to do so.
Yeah, I will jump in on this one too, because when the Ultimate Product Party asked us to speak on SEO, if you follow along and know anything about Abby and I, she's the SEO gal and I'm the creative gal. So for me, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is such a great opportunity, but holy shit, I don't know SEO like you do, Abby. What am I going to do? Am I just going to stand there and look cute, or am I going to actually have to talk here? And so we, when we put the presentation together and everything, she just kept reassuring me. She's like, you might not be like the expert like I am, but you still know enough of this that you are still the expert in this area. Like you know more than what the typical person knows about SEO. So I had to keep reminding myself that too. So, and that's where you just need like a group of people too, like to also just like let you know, like you are the expert in this, you know this shit inside and out. You're going to be okay. Like we believe in you. Get out there and do it.
Absolutely. Courtney has listened to every single SEO audit we've done. She's been a part of every course we've done, every coaching program we've done. She's a freaking expert. She just doesn't believe it. So that's what I mean. You need to ask your friends. You need to ask those people out there, and you just need to say like, hey, am I worthy of doing this? Because most likely they're going to say you absolutely are.
Yeah. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of encouraging, and a little pushing, and that's all it takes.
For sure. And if you still, for any reason, feel like you aren't an expert, or if you just can't get over that scared butterfly feeling, just again, think about that result and think about all of those doors that you could be opening, because these events and these engagements that you have with people, whether it's inside a private Facebook group or whether it's inside a membership hub or an in-person event like what we just did, these are the opportunities for you to meet new people, uncover new opportunities, make new connections. Like even if you don't get new clients or even if you don't get new customers, you could have met someone who's going to become your next business partner, or someone who you're going to create a podcast with, or someone who you have like this amazing guest offering or membership program that you guys can run together. Like these community events are so inspiring because everyone comes there with a mindset to like learn and connect and be a part of a community. So everyone is just like uplifted and excited, and like the opportunities literally just flow. So these are your chances to really just connect with people, and you never really know what's going to happen. So if you're feeling uninspired right now, or you're just feeling like you're lacking that community, maybe this is what you should focus on for your business. Maybe stop being in like that content loop, like hellhole of just creating and creating and creating. And maybe you need to step out of it and you need to meet some new people and be a part of a community and showcase your offerings in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the biggest things coming out of this event that we just did is that the group of women that we met and all the connections that we made. You just walk out of there feeling like you made 65, 75 friends, and you're like, this is fantastic. Oh my gosh. And like, we're going to keep up with each other on Instagram. We're going to continually talk. We're going to share resources. We're going to send potential clients to each other's way. It's just such a great form of community and connection that in and of itself is like invaluable.
For sure. So one of the things to know too is for us, what has happened with all of these different speaking engagements, whether it be in a private Facebook group or in real life, like the Ultimate Product Party. Most all of these came organically. So the Ultimate Product Party, we actually have an Instagram friend, Carrie Fitzgerald, who is another organic marketing expert for product businesses, and she is a genius. We've been friends with her for multiple years.
Oh my
we
gosh,
were trying
like,
to
yeah, 2.5 years or something, like even when Duo was just a baby.
Yeah, we were just a baby. And she's always like, she's like our mentor too. I feel like we just have all these conversations back and forth when either of us are stuck.
Yeah, I feel like she's like our cheerleader. She's the one that's like pushing us to go out of our comfort zones a little bit.
Yeah, and I think we've done a couple episodes on her podcast, and so she had shared a podcast episode, and with that, she was already a keynote at this event. So with that, they the two ladies that ran the Ultimate Product Party reached out to us, and they were like, hey, we saw you on Carrie's thing, and we, like, you guys are SEO experts. We need SEO at this event. Like, would you be interested? And we were both like, heck yeah. Like, yeah, this is
the
awesome.
power of connection is incredible. And so, like, had we never connected with Carrie and, like, stayed on top of that relationship with her, we would have maybe never had this opportunity to speak at the product party.
And I think, so we were even talking with Carrie about like, how the heck did we get connected? And we think, we can't even remember anymore, but we think we did a giveaway a long time ago for one of our courses, and she won.
Yeah.
And then because of that, we kept talking. Like, everything you do on Instagram or on email or on Pinterest, like if you start a conversation with someone in their messages, that could lead to something. Like, it could lead to something so much bigger than you ever imagine. And the same thing happens when it comes to like in-person events or even just virtual events. Like, we've made so many connections with people just by simply reaching out and talking to them, like getting out behind the phone screen or, you know, just talking with people and making those connections.
Yeah. Actually being able to hug Carrie was like something we were so excited about. We're like, oh my gosh, it's you in real life.
Right? So just remember that your content alone, like if you're looking to up your speaking gigs, start having real conversations. Don't just post and hope people engage with you. You need to start delivering those real conversations with people and talking with the people who like motivate and inspire you. Just pop into their DMs, just ask them questions, talk to them. Like, an organic relationship could 100% happen with that. And I feel like we've built so many relationships with people we've worked with too, whether they've worked with us or we've paid them for their services. Like, we've built so many of those relationships just through Instagram. Yeah, ultimately.
And like, who's to say that they're not going to throw some sort of an event someday and then they might want you as that guest expert there too. So it's just, again, that power of connection and, you know, what they do with their business, what you do with your business, and if they need you for an event or vice versa. It's just great to have all of those people there that you're connected with within that community.
Absolutely. So other than just keeping that in mind when you do all of your content creation, the next step is really just to speak often. Try and get more gigs where you're speaking. So we're not saying like you need to right now run off and sign up for a huge event that's in person with hundreds of people. Like, we're not saying that. But just start to speak more often, and maybe you can just start on your own platform. Like, start talking in your stories every day. Set yourself a goal that you're going to tell a story about something every single day, and you're just going to hop on and do it. It's going to feel really awkward, and the first time you do it, you'll probably spend 20 minutes.
You'll do it, you'll erase it. You'll do it, you'll erase it. You'll do it.
And you'll probably spend way too much time, and you're going to say, okay, Duo, I can't do this every single day. Like, I have to actually work. But the first time's going to be the hardest. The first week is going to be the hardest. After that, you're going to open up your phone without even thinking about it. You're going to just talk for a minute. You're going to add captions, and you're going to move on. And you're not going to think about it anymore. So the more you do something, the more comfortable you're going to get talking. So you might as well just start on your own platforms. Just start in stories and set yourself a goal.
It's a good way to practice, yeah. Another one is being a guest on podcasts. So we've talked about this on multiple podcast episodes of our own, but really just getting out there and speaking on podcasts where it makes sense for your audience and where it would benefit their audience too. But this also gives you that opportunity to practice speaking. The great thing about podcasts is they can be a little bit scripty, but like you can fall from the script. You know, you can go off script, you can kind of come back to it. It's a little bit more fluid and conversational. So it's really just a great way to kind of get those nerves out of your system, talk about what you're an expert in, kind of practice that speech, so to say. Let's say if you were going to an event, it's just a really good way to kind of get your voice out there and practice that speaking. And it's good exposure. I mean, you're on somebody else's podcast, so that's amazing. And we just talked about backlinks in one of our prior episodes, and that is
it's a twofer.
Yeah. And that's, a twofer. So you get a backlink as well. So just doing your research there and just kind of being on other people's podcasts or maybe making your own podcast. I know ever since we've made ours, it's been a lot easier for me to speak and feel more comfortable speaking. And the more we do it, the easier it is, the more conversational it is, and the better you feel about it.
I will say, side note, if you're thinking about starting a podcast, we did this for years. We were thinking about starting a podcast. And
we thought it was going to be so dang hard. That's why we put it off for a while.
It is the easiest content creation we do for our business. Easiest, hands down. Like, so incredibly easy.
If we could just do podcasts, we would just do podcasts, I think.
No, so if you guys want to tell us just to do this and nothing else, we'll do it. It is amazing. So if you're thinking about it, get over the hurdle of launching. And once you launch, you'll realize how freaking easy it all is, which is awesome.
Yes.
So another way to get really comfortable with it is to speak inside someone's private Facebook group. So maybe it's not a Facebook group, maybe it's a membership hub, maybe it's a content hub, maybe it's just something out there. So basically how you can find a lot of these opportunities is actually on Facebook. So we're in a lot of Facebook, communities. Create and Cultivate's a good one. The Rising Tide Society, Women in Marketing. We're in a lot of these that we really like to engage with, and people post all the time saying like, I need experts in my Facebook group and I need experts here. I'm looking for experts on this particular topic, and vice versa. A lot of people, if they want to get their name out there a little bit more and they have capacity, they'll post and say, hey, I'm an expert in X, Y, and Z. And you can literally say, I'm looking to like build more awareness for myself. I'm looking to get more experience speaking. I would love to speak inside anyone's private Facebook group or private membership hub or something like that. No, we're all human. Like, it's okay to say that. You don't need to pretend like you're an expert gonna speak like, at an expert level. Like, you're an expert on your topic. It doesn't mean that you have to be an expert in speaking. So just straight up saying that, everyone wants experts. Like, everyone wants that piece of it, because honestly, it's less work for them. Like, you're offering to like speak inside their group. That means they don't need to create content, and you have a unique offering that you can share that they can't speak to. So it doesn't matter if your voice isn't like perfectly curated and like you're like the best speaker in the whole world. Like, no one's asking you to be a Rachel Hollis or like
right.
someone else. So, just remember that, like, it's okay to say that this is what you want to do and this is your goal, because you'll get tons of people willing to work with you and help you essentially practice. So Facebook can be a really good place to go. Pick your favorite group, kind of announce yourself, and go from there.
So then on the other side of that is offering up your expertise and the knowledge in your particular industry or field, and reaching out in your own community and seeing if you have opportunities there. So I think when people think speaking engagements, they think that you're going to be up on this giant stage and there's going to be 200 people in front of you and you're going to be giving the speech, but that's not what these are realistically. And I mean, even just Abby and I at this recent one, we were at a round table, so it was a little easier than being up on an actual stage and having everyone stare at you. But think about your local community and just events that they have going on, and if it would make sense for you to kind of fit yourself into that and be a speaker at that event. And again, it could be something really small. I can't even think of
We
anything.
spoke at a college. Like
we spoke at a college.
Yeah.
We had a client that we worked with in the past, and he had a marketing class, and he asked us to just come and talk about, how we started our business and just, what they can do in marketing, or when they just, when they graduate, what does that look like for them? So we just kind of talked about how we started it, what we do. And yeah, that was just a college class. So even things like that, just reaching out to your local schools or, marketing schools in town and seeing if you can go talk to them about what you're an expert in, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be anything formal. It can be something.
Chamber of Commerce is another one.
Yeah.
They always have like local community events too. There's so many different opportunities. And once you start looking for them, you'll likely uncover it. And once you do a couple, they naturally kind of start coming your way. So that's another thing to keep in mind too. And then another really good way to kind of start that relationship too or start that experience speaking and securing more gigs is to connect with platforms that you use. So Tailwind is a really good example. We've connected with them. We love using their platform. We use it for Instagram and Facebook Instagram, Facebook, and I should say Pinterest. And we use it for scheduling all of our posts. So it makes it super easy. We've done a podcast with them. We also we've chatted with them a couple times. I'm trying to think of the couple things.
We did a Facebook Live with
Facebook
Tailwind
Live.
also.
Thank you. So we did a Facebook Live and a podcast episode with them, which was fun just to like do something different and talk with them, like share with their audience and vice versa. We shared with our audience how much we love the platform. So it was, again, like something that was just very organic and natural. And then same thing, we're going to be doing an episode here shortly with Interact, who Try Interact, which is our quiz platform that we use. So if you haven't yet gone and tried out our quiz on our website, it's called How Strong Is Your Gram? It is a little fun. And that is something that we have partnered with Try Interact on. So we're actually going to be working with them and doing a guest podcast episode in the coming weeks to share a little bit more about them and vice versa. So that can be a really good place to start. Like, what course creation platform do you use? What website platform do you use? Who do you use to schedule? Do you have an invoicing tool you really love? We've had a relationship with HoneyBook too, and we don't even use HoneyBook. So that was good. But that was kind of fun just to work with them from an SEO and work with their audience too. So there could be likely platforms out there that you could connect with and work with.
Which, who would have thought about that? Like the things that you're using as tools every day, like you could be an expert or benefit to their audience. So why not reach out to them and see if you can be a guest speaker on their podcast or a Facebook Live? Like it's right there at your fingertips. And again, we always say the worst that's going to happen is they're going to say, no, not this time. Or, they might not even get back to you. And that's okay, because at least you tried and you're putting the effort out there.
Yeah. They're people too. Like, I think we often forget, like, you think about them as like this big technology company or this big platform, but there are people who their job is to connect with their community. Like, that's literally their job. So you're helping them craft and create content because that's what they're looking for as well. So never cross anything off. Like, never think this is too big for me. Nothing is. No, like, nothing's off limits.
We've definitely reached out to some really big people, and we get a little scared to hit send on that email or whatever it might be, but we're scared because we're like excited. Like, if they say yes, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? We're scared because we're excited. So we're not scared of the no. We're scared. We're actually probably more scared of the yes, because we get really excited and nervous then. But
for example, we'll tell you ours that didn't work out because not everything works out, but we really wanted to speak at the Spark conference for Show It. We were so like,
we refreshed our emails every morning waiting for that email to come through.
We were like, oh man, it would be so much fun. We were coming off of the high of the Ultimate Product Party, and we were like, yes, let's, like, Spark would be awesome. We filled out the application. We followed up an email. We did everything we were supposed to do. And then we weren't selected, and we were like, oh, bummer. But we know that, Show It does these webinars, and we haven't done the webinar yet. So, like, we haven't made a name for ourselves within their community, and there's other things we can do to be hopefully on that stage in the future. And then the speaker announcement comes out, and our friend Jasmine Starr is like the keynote lead, and all of these amazing speakers who are amazing and incredible. And we're like, oh yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah,
like, sure, we deserve to
big.
be We deserve to be there too. And we will be one day. Like one day we will be. But it was also just like, we just laughed about it because we're like, man, it was such a bummer. And we're still going to attend. So,
yeah. But when we saw all the amazing speakers and like how big and well known they were, we did poop our pants a little bit. Like, oh my gosh, if we would have been there, what would we have? We would have, I mean,
we did.
We were like a little starstruck when we first saw.
I also love how many times we've said poop on this episode. Yeah. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. So second, this is just leading into this. Just start applying for things, even those things that again are going to make you poop your pants. Like apply for them, try, show up, and just the more uncomfortable it makes you, it means you should be there. It means you should try. Like keep pushing yourself because eventually someone's going to say yes and you're going to have like the opportunity of a lifetime because you reached out. So
yes. If you liked this episode, please be sure to share it with a friend and subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes dropping every Monday. Plus, if you haven't already, please leave us a review and don't hesitate to share any new episode ideas. We love hearing from you and creating this content for you. See you next week.